Shalom Aleichem. I'm Dr. Sarah Traister Moskovitz, the translator of this collection of poems. Das Lied is Geblibn, or The Song Remains. My parents were born in Poland in the late 19th century and emigrated to the United States before the First World War. My father, Sarah Traister, was a Yiddish teacher, principal of Yiddish workmen's circle schools, and instilled in me a deep love for the Yiddish language. I was born in 1927, which makes me nearly 97 years old today. I didn't speak English until I went to school in Springfield, Massachusetts, at the age of 5. I completed a PhD in educational psychology at Yeshiva University and became a professor at Cal State University, Northridge. After I retired in the 1980s, I wrote a book called Love Despite Hate, which was published by Shotgun, about the post-war lives of child survivors of the Holocaust, from which a number of child survivor support groups sprang up around the world. As my interests turned more toward the Yiddish language, which becomes more endangered every year as the last generation of native speakers like me die out, I found that the Ringelblum archive that had been buried under the Warsaw Ghetto contained a large number of poems by obscure authors documenting the lives of the final generation of Polish Jews as they faced liquidation by the Germans in World War II. I published these poems on the website called Poetry in Hell. About 15 years ago, I rediscovered a book on my shelf that my father had given me. Das Lied is Geblibn, an anthology of poems in Yiddish by authors who were murdered during the Nazi occupation of Poland, collected by Binem Heller and published in Warsaw in 1951 by the then communist government. There are not many copies of this book left, mostly in dusty archives, in research library basements. Until now, these poems have not been available online, and only a few of them have been translated into English. I have been working hard translating these poems over the last few years, and we are making them available online to anyone who is interested on our website called thesongremains.org. There are 36 authors in the collection and over 160 poems, and the text of all of the poems in both Yiddish and English is searchable and discoverable. They cover the complete range of Jewish life in Poland, with poems about the lighthearted love of nature to the trials of coming of age in the ghetto, and of course, trying to come to terms with hatred, destruction of Jews, and death. Given the context of the time and place in which these poems were written in Poland through 1939 to 1945. Some of the poems celebrate communism as the savior from the twin evils of capitalism and fascism. These poems are both a celebration of a cultural milieu that has been utterly destroyed, as well as a timely reminder for us in the 21st century in the so-called free world. I hope that this collection will be a lasting legacy for the language that I love so much, and a tribute to the poets and unique culture that were so brutally destroyed by the Nazis. We can all be proud and strengthened by the writers in this book of poems who found their own strength and courage in the ruins of the Polish ghettos where they were imprisoned, kept sick and hungry by the Nazis, and yet, despite everything, they were still able to create beautiful, creative, meaningful, and honest poetry. We will be publishing one poem per week on the songremains.org website. You can subscribe to updates on the site. I hope you find meaning and some joy in the collection, certainly pride in the poets who, under terrible circumstances, pursued their love of poetry.